Yeah, well, that depends on who you ask. I mean, there have been people over the years, and particularly the right-wing media in Britain, who have had a serious problem with the BBC. Especially to do with its sort because it's a national broadcaster which whose funding comes from the license fee payers. So everybody who owns a television or even watches any content of the BBC in the UK has to pay a license fee, which effectively funds the BBC. But the reputation of the BBC of the years, when you ask sort of news consumers, has been very, very good. The BBC is actually even the Reuters Institute, for example, which is a research body which looks at journalism and different organizations. Their yearly reports almost every year for since I can remember have found the BBC to be the most trusted news organization in Britain. In fact, it far outnumbers most of the newspapers in that respect. And they have different sort of findings. So one of them, for example, is that they found how 39% of people said that they would go if they found a piece of information that they thought was suspect or they didn't trust, they would go to the BBC to verify that, to see whether
Right.
that's been reported on accurately or truly. Now, having said that, and despite these findings, there has been a movement in the UK and wider. In fact, it's gone all the way to the presidency of the United States of America with Trump and with Israeli politicians, particularly post October 7th, who have really attacked the BBC. The right-wing newspapers have constantly attacked the BBC over the years, but there's been an active campaign against the BBC because the BBC has been accused of being very pro-Palestinian, and any slight error the BBC makes, it's pounced upon by these guys. So even in the course of this what some people are calling a conflict, but is essentially is a genocide. The BBC has been any slight error. The BBC there's almost been a sort of campaign against the BBC within this whole within the whole sort of Israeli campaign to demonize Palestinian voices, and you see this at the with BBC coverage, for example. So I mentioned the word genocide. One of the findings we made in the report was